Hey everybody, Ryan O'Donnell, the game show guy, with a game for you today. That's not a game show because I like doing other things besides game shows, but all things game. So some of the things that you'll see on this channel is a lot of game shows, but also classic board games and games like this, which I don't know what this would be. A family game, a bingo game. We all know bingo, and so I'm going to be including different kinds of games in which that I play aren't necessarily just the game shows, but board games. Basically, the idea that I love the idea about reviewing the content with my students after a unit of studying. We can do this a bunch of different ways. What's fun about game shows is that idea of competition and a sense of familiarity to it. A lot of students necessarily aren't necessarily seeing as many of the game shows that we all did back in the day, but games like this are ones that they are definitely familiar with. And so, folks, the game that we're going to play right now is bingo, and bingo's I got something kind of fun, which is that it's a 2-for-1. Basically, which is this, is that I got two ways to play bingo. I've played them both different ways, and I don't know which way I like better, but there are two different ways in which to be able to do that. One's called bingo terms. The other one's called bingo questions. I'm going to go over them both for you in today's edition of the Game Show Guys, and we're playing bingo. B-I-N-G-O, and bingo was his name. Oh, yes, bingo. A game that everybody has played or known, or one way or another, we're familiar with bingo. And so here's what I got. I'm going to break this up into two different kinds, two different ways in which to be able to play this. The first one here is going to be called bingo terms. This first version is the one that is relatively the easiest in which to be able to play. And all of these are designed as units of sort of ways to be able to review what we have learned for. So you'll notice on the two different bingo versions, the terms, bingo terms, bingo questions, but also I got a blue one and a black one. So we're playing the blue bingo game. Well, if you look at it, there's not a lot of slides to this thing. It's 7 slides. There's not a lot to it, because this isn't really about anything that we're projecting or showing, kind of a thing. This is about the bingo itself, the cards, the games, the game itself that's going to be played in front of them. Let me walk you through this, how this works. First off is that students are going to need a bingo board. Now, we're all familiar with what a bingo board looks like. It's a bingo card with numbers. So in this game, this one's called bingo terms, which is the difference here is that we're not having numbers on this. We are going to replace these numbers with terms from your unit of study. That's the difference of this. Where they go is the randomized, let the students pick, or you can do a random pick, but basically every kid is going to get, students are going to get their bingo cards, and they're going to have the different stuff that we're talking about, photosynthesis and inertia or whatever kind of a stuff, all in different places. And then you call out inertia and bing, 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 first person to win's got a bingo, kind of a thing. That in essence is what this is. So just basically replacing the numbers with the terms. That's it. You want to know how I do it? That's the rest of this video. So if you feel like, oh, I got this, yeah, I can put my own terms in there, let's go with it. So, but if you don't, watch the rest, which is here. First off, make your boards. I'm not giving you one way. There's lots of ways. So although that seems like, boy, he's throwing a lot at me, I'm just giving you choices really kind of here. And so first off for this is that, how long do you play bingo for? I remember growing up and going to the, like, oh, look at here right in front of me. This is our family. I still got it here. Check out this here. Here's my brother at the 4th of July or the Labor Day picnics. And I remember this as a kid, hanging out here and watching the adults all play bingo while we all ran around and had fun and do whatever. Because and bingo just goes. It's not like as soon as somebody gets a bingo, the game is over. You keep playing. So the neat part about this is that you can just keep going. If you do want to be able to have a winner, I like to do this, is that every time somebody gets a bingo, they get 5 points. And if somebody can get a bingo blackout, they can get 10 points. And you can continue to go this way. And so people can keep getting more and more points until you get a winner. Or you scrap all the points, scrap them all. And every time somebody gets a bingo, they get something. So mini candy bars for every time somebody gets a bingo, and keep playing, and they can collect them or something like that. So points, this is a bit like that. What was that? Whose line is it anyway? Is that the points really don't matter, or something else to that, right? The points are all made up and they don't matter. Anyway, so you can make them matter, you can not make them matter. But Yeah. All right. So it says here that this is a unit of study. The biggest part of this is that we're doing a 5x5 grid for bingo. So that means 25 questions. The space in the middle is free. So 25 minus 1 is 24. So you can't have 24 terms because that takes away from, I guess you could, but the randomness of it. No, yeah, you don't want. So you're going to need one to have more because sometimes they need to get them and sometimes you don't. The more terms that you have, the more the variations that you're going to get. I think somewhere between 30 and 40 is a good number of terms as a pool to be able to pick from. So that is, I think, just your classic unit syllabus or your study guide kind of a thing, right? What are the things that we're covering? And these are the nouns, these are the people, the places, the things, the words that we're ultimately covering. So let's say I got them. Okay, I got some things that we've covered. This could be for one unit. It could be for a whole semester, an entire year. It's your final. It's your semester end. It's your end of quarter, whatever you guys want to do. Anyway, but all right. So now let's make some boards. Here we got, I have 3 choices for you. Option number 1, you just print them. Print blank ones. And I got this link right here for option number 1 is I just got some blank bingo cards. That link that I had right here will just take you to a blank bingo card. This is a PDF that you can just go and you just post you give every kid one of these bingo cards. Then you post all your terms up on the projector, or you can have them say, hey, everybody, flip to your, if they already have it on their study guide, which is even better, flip to your study guide and get random, put them wherever you want. Doesn't really matter, right? Where they ultimately go. It doesn't have to be like the classic B's or 1 through 15, which I have on the top here. But for you, it doesn't really matter. They can just put photosynthesis in column B or O or whatever kind of a thing. So that's option number 1. You just print them. And you go. Now, again, it's also the number of cards. Like you've seen professional bingo players, like, oh, I need like 15 cards. Everybody gets 1 or 2 or up to you. Kids often like having multiples of them, kind of a thing. Option number 2 is that you can buy them. Okay. Amazon, which is where we get everything from. Like, look at here for $14. Here's an assorted bingo. You get these multiple colored ones that they can kind of be able to fill out on their own. It even says for classrooms and parties and that kind of stuff. They're blank and they don't have the numbers on there, so you could be able to fill those in. That's an easy way to be able to do that. And then the last one is this online one. There's different online makers, but the people behind Flippity are really kind of interesting. Is that if I go to here, let me show you what a Flippity looks like. Flippity has these bingo stuff. Now, this one's going to be slightly different. I'll print them ahead of time. So what I need to be able to do is this will allow me to do multiple random cards. The kids won't fill them in. I will. What I need to now do is go get me a bunch of stuff. So here is an example of some terms. Let's pretend I'm teaching 5th grade science, and here is a bunch of terms that I need that ultimately be filled in randomized on their boards. So like I said, those other options, they put them in. But if I go to Flippity, what I would do is I would take all these terms. I'm going to copy them and paste and bring them over here. So now they've all been copied. I'm going to go to Flippity in here and I'll watch. I'm just going to paste all of them. So here's my, I don't know what I have here, 30, 40 terms or something like that. And then it says, now generate. This is super cool. Watch this. I click on this and it says, hey, these are the list of terms. Do you want to use them all? Sounds good. Let's use all of them. And now I can have print, play, and more. Let me show you what print looks like. I click on print. It says, how many do you want? What do you mean, how do I want? Do I include in free space? Yeah. Well, I got a class of 20. Let's say I got 30 kids in there, or I want to go double. Like I want each kid to have. Let me go to 60. So I got a class of 30. I'm going to do 2 for each. And now when I hit print, it doesn't print right away, but it would just take you to the print screen. And hello, there's one randomized one that I'm going to print 60 times. No, watch this. Ready? Start scrolling. Up here, I got omnivore, extinct, temperature. Now I got, ecosystem, omnivore. Oh, yeah, look at this. They're all randomized. Up there is prey. Now it's community. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. When I had my list, there was a blank one, and I can see that blank spot here. So now, folks, you can see here is, check this out. Ready? 60 of these things. Bang. File, print, cut them all up or whatever. I think, if you go to, let's see if we go to the print thing, what it would look like per page. If I want to print this thing, is it 1 per page? Look at that. There's 60 pages. Or better yet, you guys know how you can be able to do that. What if I wanted to go to more settings? What if I did 2 per page. Hello, right there. I got both of them on one piece of paper. So now the kids can be playing 2 at the same time, but it's all just on one piece of paper. That's fantastic. How cool is this? How are they supposed to mark them off? Well, how do you be able to mark them off is you got a couple different choices. If they're just playing it once, they can mark them, which is not necessarily the best thing. So you can do, my favorite is go to the store and get a bunch of like kidney beans or pinto beans or something like that, what we used to do back in the day. Get a bunch of pennies, something like that. If they did want to be able to mark them up, you can do, you can have them mark them with their own pens. But if you've never seen the big old, what are those things called? Not blank pens. We do bingo markers, blotters. What are those things called? Oh, there was a name for them. Daubers. Oh, yeah. Look at that. You can get a bunch of bingo daubers if you want, or, but that's permanent. Once they put that red or their green on there, then it's done or whatever. But you could print a whole lot more. So that's Flippity, everybody. Flippity is super fun, awesome way to be able to print your own. So then you got their cards. Then the second part then is let's play the game. Now, this is completely up to you. The boring way is to do this. You just go, I need to randomly select these things. So I just go desert. Now, am I just making it up on my own? I could do this a couple different ways. I could print this myself, cut them up, and then randomly pull them out of the hat kind of a thing. Or I can do something along this line. I can do one of these, and I have this on my slide here, everybody, on this one here. You have a bingo term, a random picker. You could do the old classroom, wheel thing. Here's one that I basically are going to go here, paste all of mine in this and say, hey, this is a bingo picker setting, and I want one number of winners. And here we go. One winner, prevent a winner from being selected multiple times. And then over here, click start. And then you can see it starting to go through as inertia. That's number 35. Pick another name. And then the kind of neat part, you have to click it again. It's going to keep the, it's going to keep that winner. So people often know, like, what did we do already? So the newest one is temperature, but down here it says already had inertia. And it just keeps going. So I have that master list that we have when we play bingo. If people forget which ones we've already done before. So here it has our new one with speed, but we have temperature and inertia, and it keeps that going. This is a thing that you got a bunch of ads popping up all over the place, but there's those random pickers kind of a thing. And that's an easy way to be able to do that. Now, that's one option. Another option is to be able to do this. That means it hits the word speed and they do it. But there's not a lot of learning or review going on in this particular regards. So how I like to do this is going back to here. I like to do the good old fashioned, I'm going to print these myself. Print them myself. And then I do a couple variations of things is pull the name. I literally will do the name out of the hat, but I'm not going to say atmosphere. I am then going to, since I know this, I'm going to give some clues about what this is. I'm like, hey, everybody, so this one is, and I start doing the clue about, let's say, a carnivore. So like, hey, everybody, we learned about different eaters. So this is a kind of an eater, right? This is an eater that only ate meat. Who can tell me? Yes, Jenny? Carnivore. Carnivore is right, everybody. So this next one is carnivore kind of a thing. So it's a little bit of a Q&A that way. Or I can do it the other way. I can walk around and have the kids pull them out and have them do a clue. Or instead of that, here's a crazier one. What if instead of omnivore, I do the names out of the hat, but I go and I get the actual descriptions of them. So like, for example, let's say if I went to here, if I'm doing English, by the way, Quizlet's a great way. Like, hey, where do I get all my terms? Let's pretend I'm doing 8th grade English. I can just go to search for, hey, 8th grade language arts, and here's 88 terms or 91 terms. Now here's all these terms right here that I got that were part of my year that I did. So it could be, let's say here, instead of if I pulled out the term plot and then I have to make it up, what if in my names out of the hat, it doesn't say plot, it says sequence of a sequence of events in a story, or it says where a character does something. So the kid pulls that one out. I'm just walking around with my bucket or my hat, and the kid pulls it out. I'm like, hey, Tommy, you pick the next one out. And he goes, sequence of events in a story. I go, Tommy, you remember which one that one was? That is Tommy can get it. If not, I can get from Help Club. Plot is right, everybody. Plot is next one up in our bingo. This is, I tell you, folks, there's not a lot to it because it's the process. If I'm going to go back to here, there isn't really a thing, right? It's not a, oh, hey, click on the next slide and boop, boop, doopy, doopy and sound effects. No, none of it. It's just the bingo game itself based on your terms. I'm going to show you the other one, but this one is a really exciting, fun way that it really switches the roles. And for me, I love being that idea that I'm just the one walking around and facilitating the bingo game. And the bingo happens. Let's keep playing, everybody. Somebody got a bingo. Let's get another bingo. Let's get another bingo. As soon as you get to like 5 or so, like, or as soon as somebody gets a blackout, that's it. Let's get some new bingo cards or something like that. So lots of fun ways to be able to do this, relatively open and fluid. So that's part 1. This is bingo terms. Get ready for part 2, bingo questions.